Right. I'll have to have a good walk to a good old berry bush on a Friday night.
Hey, sir, I've come to tell you about your car's extended warranty.
Well, I'm sorry, mate, but I don't bloody care, do I?
Oh, for God's sakes, we got another runner.
Well, that's bloody lovely, isn't it? Yeah. I'll see you later.
Hello. So the video is going to be going over replay mode, and I'm not a genius at it. I can do basic stuff. Here's a fun little video, I guess, of just providing for the smaller ones. I pretty much ended up, getting the meat from a DASP I ended up dropping because, I'm using the baby dropper build right there. So I guess gravity has tenderized the meat for this young Hatzegopteryx, just to help it go down just a little bit easier. And then I guess their parent comes along thinking, what the hell is this person doing with my baby? Oh, you fed them? Thanks. So I'm going to be going over a couple of different parts about replay mode. Maybe about like showing fights and then screenshots. But first I gotta show you the funny parts.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Dear God, no. Oh my God. Oh, I'm fucking dying. Dear Lord. Oh no, that's a lag. Oh, there we go. So how can I explain this? This is because official servers are always dying. They do not run well, as we all know. So, this is the data that is saved on the server from which you get your replay. This is what the server sees. Oh, fucking hell. It is funny. It is very... Oh, no, no, that's another one. Oh. So, some people have been asking about replays and, making replays and trying to edit them or something. Well, I guess the biggest tip for you who don't have a keyboard to connect to your console is there is a little button here called auto recording. And what auto recording will do is it'll just start recording from your entire, life until you end up dying. And then you can look through the entire timeline while you're, going through the recording. But for those who are actually wanting to know the button for it, it is U, but that's only for a keyboard. You would have to give up any one of your keybinds to actually make that into a record button. But hitting it, it'll pop up in the top right, record, stop record. And that's pretty much how it is. If you start a recording and then die, you will, just stop the recording instantly then, as soon as you die. So, I've saved my replay, and as you can see, I've got to wait for that now. Shut up, Kentro in the background. So, we've all been looking at the replay mode and trying to learn what the hell you know, how the hell it even works. And yeah, I'm completely with you. It has been a pain in the ass to actually try and get it to work properly, or just learning it. It is quite a lot to learn. Kind of just want to watch, you know, whatever clip you're doing, just to find like the positions of where you want each camera placement. You learn where you're going to be working from watching what happens. So, now that we know, you know, the kind of areas it's all going to be going from, and we've watched the entire interaction, now we know where to place the cameras for the best shots. Then what you're pretty much doing is you're just stitching it all together so that it all lines up in the timing. It sounds right, you know, you've kind of done all of the hard work in actually grabbing the footage with trying to get good placements on the cameras and, you know, actually grabbing what you need. The editing is kind of easy. It may take a little while just trying to get it to line up properly, but yeah, it shouldn't take too long with enough practice if you've done that enough anyway. After that, you can add music to it if you want. You can add your own voice recordings over it, you know, but that will be in another software where you're actually editing it. And then, once it's all said and done, and you're finally happy with it, then you watch it.
Yeah. After that battle, I think I could go for some right juicy berries. Lovely.
So now, I guess we're gonna get into actually grabbing screenshots, aren't we? First thing I would recommend is you watch the video on the Path of Titans official channel telling you, how the replay thing works. But there are some things they don't really explain how they work, because they just wouldn't have the time to. It's kind of more of the job of an actual photographer or an a photo editor, especially people who do like wildlife shots of like animals and stuff like that. So, I found a pretty decent one, I think, personally. So, what you do is you increase the depth blur radius, right? So everything like around you, outside of like a certain area, will be very blurry. The distance, if you lower that, makes things further away from you more, you know, blurry, while leaving the things that are closer to you looking pretty sharp. If you look at the Campto, the Stego is a little bit blurry. I could turn that up a little bit and make it a little bit sharper for the depth blur distance. And then once you've gotten the depth blur distance and the radius and all that, then, you know, increasing the focal distance won't do anything then after that to the things that are already super sharp. You see that? Now, oh, I end up changing the exposure. Okay. Right, a little more light. Yeah, that's nice. That works. What about the time of day? Mm. Oh, that is actually quite nice. I think I want less exposure though. Yeah, that's kind of nice. But you see how everything in the distance is like blurry, but then the camptos, the bushes, and all that, that's all like very clean and sharp. Well, there's also another thing you can do with aperture.
While I was adjusting these settings right here, I was talking about how the aperture works, and I ended up explaining it wrong, so I'm gonna just talk and explain it, like, very basically. Aperture, pretty much, the higher the number, the further away things can be in focus. In other words, the more you can use your zoom function to actually make things look clear from a distance. So, say if I turned up my aperture very high and then zoomed in on the hats over by the rock, it could actually still look clear even from this distance in which the camera actually is. But as you're about to see right here, the aperture is going to be set to like pretty much almost nothing, and you're going to watch this Campto need to be like at a special distance to actually make it look nice.
Yeah, yeah, see? If it's like at nothing, I've got to go right next to stuff. So now, after you've done this and you've messed with the aperture and all that, let me just turn that back down. Yeah. So after you've messed with the aperture and all that stuff, and I don't know what diaphragm blades do. I don't know. Yeah. So then you go to exposure. You change that around until it looks how you want it. It basically just increases or decreases the light from the light sources. Be careful with it, otherwise you will blind yourself with it. And then there's bloom, in which also be careful with it, because you will blind yourself with it. I could turn this entire screen into just God rays. Oh dear Lord. Oh, that is horrible. I think a little bit of bloom is always nice, but don't overdo it. Sometimes just leaving it to the game's default is enough. Or you can add your own vignette to make things a little more cozy, I guess you could call it. I personally prefer to edit in a vignette on my own software, since I have just more control over it. And then, of course, we've all seen, the mode that makes it so that we've all been taking mushrooms, where it splits the colors and makes everything look, funky. I guess you could use it as like a predator chasing kind of scene. Like, say, example, you have your FOV super zoomed in, and then say you're following someone like this, say in like a chase sequence. I think that would be pretty cool.
And here's the example of if I want to add my own vignette or possibly add some light saturation. And I guess just another one. Why not? And now I guess just another example of another screenshot just to find. You can pretty much make almost anything look good. Even something as hectic and kind of contorted as this. Of course, I've got the editing and, this going at 8 times speed right now, and I'm just talking over the edited video. But as you can see, mainly just messing with like the depth of field and stuff like that. Sometimes an adjustment is needed, but usually you can solve everything by just changing the night of day as well. And then, because this was like one of the earlier ones that I was making, so I was kind of just messing with whatever we had. Oh god, almost blinded us there. But after messing about with it for long enough, you do end up with something like this. I really, really like the replay mode for screenshots. Hell, I was even able to just flip the camera around to the Rex's side and then get this. And I don't know why, but I thought maybe this would look kinda cool. I like it. But let's not all forget that you are not the only person on the map. For example, everybody else that is in your render range is also a potential model for whatever screenshot that you want to make. Say if you come across someone with a cool skin that you really like. I'm just using this Noviana just as a simple example right now. So here we go. For this, I kind of went for the typical, oh yeah, it's a cat, so it's going to be a nocturnal creature, but with a white skin to make it a little bit more, I don't know, cunning, brooding, kind of spooky. After just a little bit of tweaking and work, there we go. Finished. I mean, I think it actually looks pretty cool. It looks like it's got its eyes on something that's ready to attack. But with just a slight little change of camera angle, it's you. This is the last thing you see before you become Scran. Right here, I decided to actually get up close, and, well, yeah, this made me laugh like hell.
Oh, what is that? That is not a Nubiana. No. Why does it look like that? No. Why? Fucking why?